Hello class, we're going to continue on now with Unit C, Political Parties, by taking a look at Chapter 5, Section 4 on the minor or third parties. So as you recall, we are a two-party system, but there are some minor parties that have an impact, and we'll be doing some activities in class realizing who are some of those minor parties and what impact have they had, as well as a video on an important third-party figure, Ross Perot, who rose to fame in the early 1990s as the nominated candidate for the Reform Party in that era, and had a good shot at becoming the first third-party presidential winner. So we're going to look at some of the minor parties and what types there are and why we have them today. The first is an ideological party, and that's what it means. It has a new ideology or worldview, all-encompassing. For example, the Libertarian is a popular party today, a minor party. The next is a single-issue party. Just as the name would intimate, a single-issue party means it's really concerned about that one issue. Maybe they want to save the whales, so they're going to be called Save the Whale Party. And they're going to try their best to save the whales. So that is going to be their main focus, and they're going to try to obviously not win election. Their focus is not to win the election, but to try to bring more attention about the problem to the Democratic and Republican parties. So the role will be different for them. The most common is called an economic protest party, where people feel that they're overtaxed or that the government is complicit in some type of a economic crisis, and therefore they feel compelled to form or join a third party. And finally, you have a splinter party. The most common example, is the Bull Moose Party, where Teddy Roosevelt tried to run under the Bull Moose Party in the early 1900s to try to push through progressive reform. So a splinter party is just that. It splinters off one of the main parties, as you probably could guess. All right, well, let's move on then to the minor parties in America. There's just a graphic which, again, idealizes those four types. And what role do they play? First of all, spoiler. They can take votes away from one of the two main parties, and that's one of the criticisms of a third party, is that it can take away some of the votes. It can act as a spoiler. Those of your sports fans realize that if your team can't make the playoffs and it has a final game of the year against another team, say the Tigers, who needs to win one more game to make the playoffs, and that really bad team beats them, they played the act of the spoiler role. That can happen too, where a third party, if given enough votes, could take some votes so that it spoils a chance of somebody else to win. The other, more common, is critic. They're going to criticize and bring attention to the main issues that their party would like. And also importantly, and thirdly, they act as an innovator. They come up with great solutions like Ross Perot did, and everybody agreed with him. The Democrats and the Republicans agreed with Ross Perot, but they said, we don't think he can win, but we like some of his innovative ideas on solving problems.